Welcome back to Underground After Hours. Today we're talking about Tucker believing in interdimensional alien demons.
Grand Theft Auto at Justin's house.
Christ is king.
I think you can't say it's a dog whistle.
No way.
I can lunge all over the place.
Yes.
Iceland.
Welcome back to Underground After Hours with Paramount
Episode
Gym.
40.
Episode 40.
40.
40. We have jumped the shark. Viewership is declining. I would like to
At a
blame
rapid
John.
pace.
You want to blame
You wanna
John?
blame me?
That's
How
what
come
you want.
to blame me.
Because you just won't work with me on a reel.
That's not.
Why? That's not true. I don't
won't do it.
understand.
I don't
won't
think
do it.
that's true.
Can you define work with me?
Yeah. How do you?
Yeah, like call me up and be like, this is what I want to do.
You guys
I did
talk
that.
on the phone every single day.
I
I've
don't know if
never
you
met two
I don't
friends.
know if you remember. You guys don't talk on the phone every day?
He knows. I get mad when he calls me.
Yeah. I don't call you that much.
I call you when I'm going through.
I
it.
called John for the dirt. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
I want,
The dirt, because I have dirt.
I want the scoop.
Or if you want to spill the dirt.
Yeah, if I
Yeah,
got some, if I got some fucking nuggets,
Yeah.
If somebody just told Scott not to tell anybody,
I'm calling John. Like this.
guess what?
Yeah.
You'll never guess. Episode 40. So we should get right into it.
Okay.
I read in the newspaper that 3 honor roll students stole a vehicle
In Eatontown.
in Eatontown,
In Eatontown.
and it turned out to be yours.
It was mine.
So you want to? I've stolen cars.
Right.
Never had a car stolen. I would love for somebody to steal my car and it for not to be found.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
So I'm upside down on this fucking thing.
When,
I could get you a number after the show.
Yeah.
I could get you a phone number.
So can you walk me through what your morning? When did this happen? What happened?
Wednesday morning. So it's Sunday now. So Wednesday morning.
It was Tuesday going into Wednesday.
Overnight.
Overnight, yeah. So Wednesday mornings, I got to open the gym. We don't have,
You live in like the ghetto.
is that real? Do you think I live in the ghetto?
No, he lives in one of the nicest towns in the area.
He lives in the worst part of the nicest town.
That's
in
not
the area.
true.
What's the worst part in Eatontown?
I don't think Stony Hill.
Yeah, Stony Hill's probably the worst.
And they do
Probably.
have that. I know the what's the trailer parks. There's a
Oh,
trailer.
I don't know. They moved. That's where the Wild Fork is now.
Oh,
There's
really?
no more trailer
There's no-
parks.
they
Oh, they
got
knocked it down. That's right.
Yeah.
What'd they do with all those people?
I don't know. Maybe they're working at Wild Fork.
I used to hang out back there.
Oh,
They're
boy.
they're looking for cars.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I would say if that. I don't know. I mean,
It's never happened before in my
Okay.
area. We've never had break-ins like that.
I
But
just thought there was some low income housing in proximity to your.
no, there's not. I don't think so. I mean, I guess like when
there's
you're
apartments right
Yeah,
by him, but
yeah, those apartments. But like if you go past the Wild Fork, if you're going on the road towards Ocean, what's that, Oceanport or whatnot, isn't there like some apartments in there that aren't the best?
I don't know.
All right,
I
well,
don't
whatever.
live around there anymore.
Right. All right. So anyway, I wake up on Wednesdays. I open the gym. There's nobody to open the gym. I open the gym. So I woke up at 4 a.m, get all my shit together. I go outside and I'm looking for my car.
How many minutes were you looking for your car?
I did like the,
Because you always park in the same.
was there like an empty spot or
there was
okay.
there was an empty spot. But there's times where I park there, and then every now and then I'll park on the opposite side because, like, I'll see like one of my buddies walking his dog or whatnot, and I'll stop to see the dog, and I'll walk across the lawn to get to my house. But nevertheless, I look. There's an open spot, and I'm looking. And I'm like, dude, the old double take for probably 10 seconds, and then I looked back towards like where I'm like, did I park over there? And I looked back, and I was like, fuck.
Did you think it was an inside job, or were you like? Were you?
No.
Was your first thought my car stolen?
No, I don't have friends like my first thought was my car was stolen.
Yeah.
Like I know, like you guys are not that big of losers where you're gonna fuck with me, and there's the only people that like you're my only two friends and
Yeah.
Patrick.
Yeah. Well,
You know,
that would be suspect number one for me.
I mean, maybe back in the day, yeah, maybe a year ago, but so I just was like, fuck, my car got stolen, and my first thought wasn't like call the cops. It was like, I got to get to the gym.
You got to
You
get
know,
to work.
I got to get to. I got to open the gym.
Yeah.
So I get a ride to the gym, and on my way there, I'm like, why am I freaking out about getting to the gym? How am I going to open the gym? I don't have the keys. My keys were in the car.
Which is how your car got stolen.
Correct. I left the keys. I had a big sign.
You didn't even call the cops.
I didn't call the cops, which we'll get to that in a second. But like I had a big sign on my car that said, "Come steal me." I left my keys in there.
Yeah.
I left my wallet in there.
Yeah.
And I do that all the time.
You left your Kith hat in there.
Left my Kith hat, and I was freaking out about the Kith hat.
I know. Yeah.
That was like the only thing I was really worried about. And obviously, like my credit cards.
House keys?
House keys, gym keys, mailbox key.
Our credit cards.
Our credit cards that are in my name. So halfway there, I'm like, why do I even care? I'm not going to be able to fucking open the gym. Pull up to the gym. No lie, 6 cars waiting outside. I got to
What time did you get there?
5:05. Okay. Because obviously I'm fucking, I'm all over the place. So it took me a little while to get going. Get to the gym. I start knocking on the people's windows, apologizing. I'm sorry. Like my car got stolen. They're all super, sympathetic.
Yeah.
Oh, it sucks. It's gonna be all right. Don't worry. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like it can't work out. Justin Armour, your underground athlete, pulls up. He's got to train someone at 5 a.m.
Ah,
So he doesn't have a key,
right.
but he was a G right away. He's like, fuck this. He's like, we'll call John DiNardo, one of our employees. He lives right down the road. He'll open the key. He'll open the gym. I'm like, yeah, bet, do that, because I don't want to be the dick and wake the kid up at 4 a.m. when he just closed the night before or whatever. He had school the night before. Gets him up. The kid
I'm amazed he picked up.
picked up. Actually, no, you know what? That's a lie. He didn't pick up. He called me. I guess Justin called him or texted him, and I text him too on my way there. I text him, I text Camilla, I text everybody that works for us except for John, knowing that John would not wake up. So I guess he saw my text and Justin's call, and he called me. I said, yo, come to the gym, open the gym. I'll give you money. I'm sorry. And he was like, no problem. I'll be there. Comes, open the gym. Everybody's happy. They're getting in the gym, and Justin, such a nice kid, gave me his car. So I took his car. He watched the gym. I went back. Called the cops, did the whole fucking thing. Cops are asking me, like, then that's when they start asking me, like, this happened at 4:30. Like, started, like, interrogating me. Like, I, set this up.
You stole your own car.
Yeah. I'm like, you think, and I said, so it was a woman cop, actually, who came to the gym one time, like, a year ago, and did the 3 free-day trial. Never joined. Bitch. But... so other cops come. There was like 4 cops there. It's the only thing going on in Eatontown. It's 6 a.m. So they start looking around the neighborhood and other apartment complexes. She's taking all my information, goes in the car, comes back, and it's like, you seem pretty calm for someone that just got your car stolen. I was like, what are you implying? You think I tried to get somebody to set up my 2016 Chrysler? It's worth fucking $500, honey. So she was like, no, I wasn't doing that. And then she started making me feel better because I was like, I'm such an idiot. I left my keys in my car. And she's just like, you know what? It's not that uncommon. Sometimes we actually tell people that actually have nice cars, not cars like yours, to leave their keys in the car because people are actually breaking and entering inside people's houses to get the keys. She's like, I don't know if anybody's coming in the house for a Chrysler.
That's the greatest piece of advice.
I think it's if you have a garage.
Yeah.
To keep your keys in your car in the garage.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, like in like Colts Neck or Marlboro, they're coming into the house to look for
because they assume it's
up.
just on the kitchen counter.
Right.
Yeah.
So long story short, my car gets stolen. I drive back to the gym. I'm doing my thing now. I'm calling the insurance company, canceling all the credit cards. A detective calls me. He's like, yo, listen, can you do me a favor? Can you look on your Easy Pass so I could maybe see if they went on the Parkway when I went up to Newark? Everybody says, oh, these cars just brought up to Newark.
Yeah.
Maybe on the port. I'm like, yeah, I could do that, but you got to give me like 5-10 minutes because I got to call my dad. It's under his name. So sad. 40-year-old man with an Easy Pass on his father.
Aww.
I call my father. He's laughing at me. My parents are dying laughing at me like, you idiot. Before I could even call the detective back with the Easy Pass information, which there was none, they didn't go on the Parkway. The detective calls me back and said, Tinton Falls police just called us. They found your car in Fox
Chase.
Fox Chase.
Which is your development.
Right? No,
Well,
like
it's
the
next.
one at
Yeah,
Jason.
yeah.
She's like, you know anybody in Tinton Falls? I was like, my partner. They're like, yeah, so we found your car. We're on our way there. We're going to dust it for prints, see obviously if it's banged up, and we'll let you know.
Did they get prints?
I didn't ask. I mean, the car was ripped to shreds.
And there's video.
There's video.
There's
Was the car like where was the car?
It was in like a residential neighborhood,
Like a
parked
parking
in a
spot?
parking spot. It wasn't like in the middle.
So they got your crappy car and they're like, ugh.
So a lot of the times they were telling me that they'll use the car, they'll get some crappy car, which obviously mine is, and go looking for other cars,
Yeah.
or they'll take the car, park the car, and then observe the car for the next 24 to 48 hours to see if anybody comes and gets it and realize it's gone or
If it's
whatever.
being traced. Or,
Yes, and then they'll come back and then get it. So, long story short, they towed it. I paid the tow fee.
They towed it?
Yeah, I know. I couldn't get. I just obviously, if I was was home, I could have like brought the extra set of keys. But no, they towed it.
They took your keys?
They took my keys.
Is it what was stolen out of the car? The credit cards?
Just the credit cards. They left my license.
And
Really
the
nice
keys.
of them.
They took the
They took
keys?
the keys.
Weird.
Super weird.
They probably threw the keys.
Yeah, I'm sure the keys are
Probably
like in the
bush within
woods.
a couple feet from where the car was found.
Right.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So they didn't catch the guys.
Had a shitload of Viagra in the car too, and they left that.
Ugh.
I mean, like a shitload.
Wow.
Yeah,
Like 100?
not 100, but like
Eating like Tic Tacs.
What I want to know is if the car was parked in like one of those residential parking lots, like how the cops find it?
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good question. I don't know. Maybe it was a car that was parked in like somebody's reserved spot, and they complained.
It's 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it was like 10. So yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. But obviously they put the license plate out for all the other cops so they could maybe see it
So
on
they
the
get the little beep beep. Yeah.
Right. So, but nothing. And I swear I've been leaving my keys in my car since high school.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop doing that.
Yeah, I am too.
That's my new thing. Yeah,
I mean,
You do that too?
I don't leave my keys in my car at home.
But you leave them in the car in the
I
gym.
have by accident.
Uh-huh.
Like with my last car, my keys are 9 times out of 10 they're in the car in the gym
Right.
when I'm in the gym, which is not a big deal because
You can see out
it's
the
10
window.
feet.
Right.
But always, if I go somewhere, the store, Wawa,
Yeah, you leave it
the
running.
car's running outside.
Me too. I do that a lot.
that's what I
Yeah.
used to. That was
That-
my thing.
That was your thing?
That
You'd
was
wait.
my thing.
And where would you bring the car when you stole
I
it?
just used it.
Oh, you just used it to run errands.
I would joyride.
That's crazy to me. Like, isn't that? And you never got caught doing that?
I never got caught. Well, no, that's one time I got caught, but I didn't get caught in the car. It's kind of a terrible, embarrassing story.
Do you want
Whatever.
to tell it? Because it's a good one.
The one where I left.
And then
the-
we can go on to
So I used to do all different types of back when I was using drugs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I would steal cars and I would use them. And
You never brought them to chop shops for money?
no,
Never.
no,
Because that's good money, no?
it's not.
It's not?
No, if you don't know, if you're just like a fucking
A
white
junkie?
dude and you show up in Newark with a car,
They're going to think you're a fed.
they might give you something like drugs or something for the car, but then you're just on the block without the car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
You could do that. You could make trades like that, but like bringing it to a chop shop without having any kind of like knowing
a
somebody there's a
connection there.
good way to get just
Beat
whatever
up.
just get the fuck out of here
Pistol
and
whip.
take your car.
Yeah.
So no, I would use it to do other bad things.
Uh-huh.
And this one night, this was towards the end of my. This is towards the end when I finally was like going away. I had like warrants and shit. I took a car. I went to like a ShopRite. You remember back when ShopRite was like open late, like super late.
Mhm.
There was some food stores were open like 24 hours. And then stuff wasn't in cases, so I was fucked up. So I filled up a whole carrot. I parked the stolen car, went inside. I had a jacket. I filled the whole carriage up with everything that I would be able to like sell, like Tylenols,
Right.
fucking
Whatever.
like, the whole pharmacy, like everything, anything that was worth money, like baby formula, DVDs. filled the whole fucking carriage up, and then I realized that in order for me to like get the stuff dunked into my car, I would have to go out to my car and then pull it like right up front to the place. So I went out to the car, but the car wasn't parked in that parking lot. I was parked further away. So I walked over to the car. When I got to the car, I got distracted for a little while, and then I fucking drove the car back around. And as soon as I pulled up to the food store, it was late, and there was a cop right out front. Now I think the cop is in the car. Right. So I'm like, it would be weird if I just pulled up behind this guy and then just fucking took off. So I was like, I'm gonna act like I forgot. I'm acting like I forgot something inside. I thought the cop was in his car. So I just pulled up right in front, like where you're not supposed to park. I got out and I left my jacket on with my wallet and everything in the carriage. Oh my God. I'll never forget. And I go in, and the cop is with somebody who works there next to the carriage, and I'm like,
there he is.
That guy. And I was like, oh, I forgot my wallet. He's like, well, cop's like, wallet's in your jacket.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, weird. He's like, well, come with me. So we go outside, and he's like, is this your car? I was like, no. And he's like, you didn't pull up in his car, get out of his car. I was like, nope. No idea what you're talking about. He's like, I didn't see you. Just pull up. And I was like, dude, I have no idea what you're talking about. I walked here. He's like, I'm gonna need you to sit on the curb. And then I was sitting on the curb, and he ran the car plates, and I was fucking.
You're done.
I was done.
And it was stolen, or it was recorded.
Yeah, I had that car for like 48 hours.
You're driving around in a hot car for 48 hours.
Yeah, see,
that's like not
one of
good
the
business,
one of the
right?
things about that is like it depend. Like, I mean, I don't know. I was stupid. Like, but I was under the impression that if you took something in one county, like it wasn't like a APB out,
right?
For, you know what I mean, for joyriding, because I wasn't like hot wiring the cars and shit. You know what I mean. So I got popped for that, and then what they did was, because I would do the same thing that those guys did. I would take it. I would feel like it was getting hot, and I would take it somewhere.
And then you would leave
like
it.
a while, I would leave it. I'd grab another one. So when I had warrants and everything, like I was done. I had I was running for some shit. So when I got locked up that time, they charged me for that car. But then they did like trace. They ended up charging me for like 9 different cars in like 6 different counties.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't do that. And they're like, all right, well, we'll figure it out in court. That shit fucked me up because I got charged with all those, and then I got sent to prison for the robbery shit. And so I was in prison. I couldn't, because I had open charge. I couldn't get parole.
Yeah.
I couldn't get out from behind the wall.
You were beat.
And they didn't care. Like I was like trying to get like indicted on the stuff.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was fucking
awesome.
And that's why I don't drink or do drugs anymore.
Yeah, totally.
Congratulations. So you were just taking the cars, right?
I was just taking the cars and using them.
I don't think.
No, when you were taking the thefts, when they were calling you down, you were just like, weren't you just taking them so that they would just move on in the process?
Yeah, so like I was
coming
coming to the end of my prison sentence, and I had to what would happen was, since I had 5 or 6 different counties, and every car that I got, it was 3 charges. It was like theft of a moving vehicle, burglary because you break into the car, and some other stupid charge. They were like all 3rd degree. So every car carried 3 charges, 2 or 3 charges. So I'm coming up to the end of my time, and I had to get indicted on all of these things in order to so that if I did get released from prison, another county wouldn't just come pick me up.
Yeah.
And have to just be a nightmare.
Go through the same process.
So I had to go to court from prison, and I didn't even fight it. They would just give it to me. So at the end of everything, I just signed I just pled guilty. I didn't fight anything, but their deal was like, look, we'll give you 3 years, and we're just gonna run it concurrently with what you have already, what you've already done all the time. So I'm like, fuck it. So I had like 19 years in charges that I just took. That's why I started my own business, because I have fucking 17 adult felony convictions. What am I gonna do with that? You know?
Yeah, those are on your record forever.
There's nothing you can do.
And like 15 of them are cars.
Yeah, but it doesn't say that. If you look it up, it's just like theft of movable property or like breaking it, like breaking and enter. But it was all for like one car, and then the bad one was the like aggravated assault, and the manufacturing and that kind of shit.
Manufacturing.
Those are the ones.
Breaking Bad. Yeah, so I don't think these three.
I wasn't making nothing.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, so I don't think these 3 honor roll students that took my vehicle were like drug addicts.
I think they were doing the same thing I was doing. I think they probably took your car. Joyride, probably looking for another car or something else, or a burglary or some dumb shit to do.
Yeah.
You know, maybe that's how they found your car. Maybe another car got stolen out of that lot. It's not like the cops are going to tell you.
Yeah, it's true.
That's what I think happened. I think that they probably had their eyes on another car. And just like there was a Ring camera footage, because you notice they came up to you on foot.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that they
you got the Ring cam.
They didn't want to.
They were checking all the cars.
They were checking a couple
the only
cars.
Fucking dummy.
Idiot. Yep.
All those. There was 10 cars.
Third car though. Third car is a charm.
Yeah.
The guy that they
saw him
split
come
up.
in.
Yep.
He gets in. He must have gave him like a whoop whoop whoop.
Got it. So like they look like they got in. The kid got in the car thinking that he had to hotwire it because he ripped the panel out.
Oh.
And then he was just probably like did a little glance over and like, oh shit, keys too. Boop.
Yeah.
Out.
Were the keys in the ignition?
No, there's no ignition. It's push to start.
Start?
Yeah, so they were in the cup holder. And
my uncle's whenever he wants to fucking get rid of a car, he says he just leaves his keys in his car in his driveway. He lives up in North Caldwell, and he's like, after 2-3 months, your car's gone.
it's like that,
It's like the worst thing is if you get it back.
Yeah.
You know, but.
So yeah, that was my Wednesday, dude, and then I got it back and smelled like Black and Milds inside, and we're back at it now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you feel violated?
Not really.
Did you play through like hero scenarios, like if you had woken up and heard it?
So I was thinking
coming out
of like
boxers.
American History X.
Yeah. I was thinking, because like I walked out the house at like 4:30, and it happened at like 3:40. So like I can't imagine. Like, do you think these guys had like the ratchet on them? And
they didn't look
I
like
don't-
it.
you know.
They look like runners.
but you never know.
If I had to guess, I would say they were not any older than 16 years old.
Yeah.
I don't think they'd be shooting, but
Yeah.
it would be weird.
It'd be weird if I walked out and they were just fiddling with my car. Like, yo,
3 teens.
what are you
By your
doing?
car. Hey,
Hey,
stop it.
that's my car. Hit the road. So,
That's wild.
moral of the story: don't leave your keys in your car.
Yeah.
So, that's where we're at.
Or, if you want your car to disappear,
Leave your key in the car in the bad part of Eatontown, like
I think
Scott
I'd
said.
still be upside down. Yeah, the fucking bad part of eating.
Bad
Well,
part of
they've
Eatontown.
literally, you're a couple hundred yards from the Parkway exit 105.
We're doxing your address.
I know, totally.
Yeah.
It's totally
And,
fine for the
and it was
67
found
people.
a couple right next to Parkway exit 102, which is where my house is.
Yeah,
But they didn't get on the Parkway because
they didn't
on the
because
Easy Pass.
yeah, exactly. And my dad let me know there was no Easy Pass.
But I think that was the plan, was that they were looking to hop on 102. They dumped the car to get something else.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wonder if they'll catch him.
I know. I was thinking the same thing.
You're
I wonder
never
if-
going to know.
You're
You'll
never-
never know if
Right,
they catch him.
you're the victim. He's the victim. They would notify him.
You think so?
For sure.
Oh, I mean,
They're probably not going to get in any trouble.
oh no, you were released the same day.
Yeah, it's an ROR state now.
My mother got assaulted and her car stolen, like, while she was in it.
Really?
And I
Like
don't
a
think
car
they...
jacking?
She was summer of 1991.
Oh wow, so this is
My
a long time ago.
mother's father was dying of lung cancer in Jersey Shore Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
On a Friday night, my mother went to go visit him.
This is Neptune.
His Neptune.
Yeah.
Way before they redid the hospital.
Right.
It was a fraction of the size. She pulled into a parking spot, got out of the car. I don't know. I don't know the details of the story. Somebody from out of her vision hit her with a pipe,
Hit her with a pipe?
knocked her out cold in the parking spot,
What the fuck?
took the
I
car.
think you told me this story.
Holy shit.
Took the car. A nurse coming in, an ER nurse coming in for her shift, went to pull into a parking spot, saw my mother laying in the parking spot.
That's crazy.
Did they catch the person?
That's what I don't know, and I don't think they got the car
The car was
because
recovered.
that was my first car. So they got the car.
Nice.
Here, you take
Here's a bad
Yeah.
juju. Yeah,
Literally.
So they got the car, but I mean, it was it was a wild story. Me and my sister were like across the street at the neighbors. I guess my father wasn't home. My mother was like going grocery shopping, so she had like an unusual amount of cash on her that she carries. And when she came to, she told the police that me and my sister were in the car.
Oh my
Because
God.
she was so disoriented. So there was like an APB out for me
For
and
two
my sister.
kids?
They finally get my father on the phone. And they're like, the kids are at the neighbor's house.
Yeah. She's a liar.
Did they get the cash and everything?
Oh, I don't think so.
Oh.
And when I say an abnormal amount, it was like $300 in cash because you could go grocery shopping with $300
Well,
for a whole family.
1991 was the Asbury Park Neptune was like the Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In the early 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're talking Jersey Shore Medical Center right there on a major highway.
Yeah, well, you run into a lot of freaks in the like people being released from hospitals.
Yeah, that's true.
So hospitals are a little kind of a weird place. That's in a weird.
I
That's
used
not in a great location.
I used to go there for not so good things.
Yeah.
That was my meetup
right over
spot.
there, right? There was
Yep.
a spot right behind the hospital.
Yep.
Well,
Not
she
that I don't know about anything like that anymore.
she made a full recovery.
Oh,
Thank
good.
God.
Thank God.
The car was retrieved. That was my car when I turned 17.
What kind of car was it?
1988 Volvo.
I would want to know if they caught the guy.
I don't. They didn't. I don't think. I don't know. That's why I'm saying I don't.
We should look into it a little. Let's go hit him
I'm
with
gonna
the
ask-
pipe. 25, 30 years later.
I'm gonna call my mother when we leave here and ask her if they ever found him. If
Yeah.
they ever. Because I was young.
Knowing
I was,
your mother, she probably forgives him and said would leave him alone. He was just going.
Let God deal with it.
He was just going through some rough times.
I'm a big fan of Retribution, though.
I know you are. I know you are for sure.
They have. 1991. I was 9 years old.
When I hit my mom with a pipe, they gotta be
Oh.
like, that was 40 years ago.
Yeah, I don't care.
It's time to pay the pipe.
Yeah, listen.
I'll ask her. I'll find out.
So that's fun. So you didn't feel like violated?
No, I didn't
You
feel
like
violated.
emotionally violated?
No, I mean that day I definitely slept like a baby that day. I was just on like super high alert. I don't
So
know.
you
Justin
were-
slept in his car that night.
Yeah. Woke up the
baseball
next
bat.
morning like, oh, my car's still there because like they had the keys. So I'm thinking, and I asked the guy, I'm like, should I be worried? Like they have my keys. He's like, dude, if they wanted the car, they would have taken the car.
Yeah, I bet they're gonna be watching over there now.
Yeah.
Like just all your neighbors like come together.
Everybody was
it's
super
like-
sweet. I mean, I emailed the association because I just wanted to let them know. They put out an
Your
email.
Foundation is sinking, and
Yeah,
you've got cars
literally,
against them.
literally, we got
Justin's had a rough go at it the last couple of weeks.
yeah, God's trying to get my attention. I
Yeah,
guess.
you should listen.
I'm trying.
You should listen.
We're opening our ears.
So all right, well that's fun.
Yeah, it was cool.
That's fun.
It was cool.
I was shocked when I was like laughing and also like wow,
Felt
that's
kinda
kinda
bad, right?
crazy.
Yeah.
What else we got?
Um.
There's no way to segue that.
No, there's no way to segue that. Well, I have a great segue.
Do it.
Never mind. Not really. I could not believe that Joe Rogan finally. It took him this long to get Tucker Carlson on his podcast.
I don't know why.
I mean,
Did
it's
they have beef or anything? Or
he's
don't
had
thi- I don't-
Alex Jones on his podcast multiple times, right?
Well, the thing is, this is how I would think about it: is that both of them get millions and millions of views, so they don't need each other. And whose platform would it benefit? I know that's a lot of times, like, you know, mid-range people often run into this, like, where it's like, I get 1 million views, you get 1 million views. Why should I come on your show and you get the money from it? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, why should I come on your show when you can come on
Well,
my
I think
show?
the people needed it.
Well, yeah, I'm glad that they talked. I was. It's interesting the way I found out about it is I didn't know, and I'm usually like up on these kinds of things. Like I would
I'm gonna pop his in for this.
get like alerts or whatever,
Yeah.
but it had been posted and it was up for almost 24 hours before I saw anything about it. And at the time, I think under 24 hours, like maybe 16 hours, there was only 10,000 views on it, but there was like 26,000 likes. So like YouTube was like throttling it,
Yeah.
like not either lying about the actual view count, and
Did they pull it down for a little bit too, or no? Did I read that somewhere?
I don't know if they did. I think maybe Joe Rogan did because they had put it up with an error or something. So I think
okay.
they privated it for a period of time and then they put it back up. But I listened to the whole thing. What was it, 3.5 hours? 3 hours?
3 hours.
3 hours, 10 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I listened to. That's my new favorite thing. It's like long form
Podcasting.
podcasts like that. Like let people say what they
Get comfortable.
I'm so
and just
sick
let
of
it
like
get.
the sound bites and like the way like CNN and Fox News, they have like a 15-minute segment
Yeah.
and it's peppered with commercials and
Yeah.
they're trying to get like talking points out when nothing is ever said. And nothing is said. You have you feel like you learned less. You somehow know less about whatever they were talking about than when you started.
Uh,
I don't typically listen to the Joe Rogan Experience. Is that what it's called?
Yeah. I do if I like the guest.
Well, that's the thing, is because I don't have 3 hours, so I have to really care about. I don't have 3 hours of attention to give. Joe
yeah, I've
Rogan.
listened to a couple.
So
put
I
it
have to
on in
care.
the background. Put it on when I'm driving.
Yeah.
You would have to be a pretty special guest for me to give you 3 hours of my life.
Yeah.
But I really like Tucker Carlson. I think that he's like a sober mind. He's pretty funny. I like his takes. I don't care what people say about him. I think it's weird. I don't know how anybody could.
It's weird to not like him.
I don't get it. And there's people who fucking like hate him.
Oh, my mother hates him.
Oh, my mother does too.
My mother hates him. My uncle hates him.
I just don't get like. What
I don't
is
know.
the
I don't really
argument?
know.
'Cause
They're left leaning.
Yeah.
My uncle and obviously my mother.
But it's like Bill Maher on for
I
us.
was just gonna say that Bill Maher just had an interview or just did his thing.
Yeah.
I watched like the last half hour of it. He was great. He was talking about like the whole
the Disney thing.
Disney and
Yeah.
trans and and he's just like and he's obviously super liberal.
Super liberal, and I'll listen to.
I'll
his
listen to
stuff. I don't agree with most of the things he says, but he has. I mean, I wouldn't say a sober mind, but at least like he makes some sense. He approaches most.
He's entertaining too.
He's
at
funny.
times.
He's
and
funny.
He approaches most subjects, I think,
Big
with
pothead.
some like fucking logic.
Yeah.
But I don't understand what the left's hatred is of.
Anybody that aligns or agrees with Donald Trump in any shape, form, or facet is automatically hated by the left,
Yeah, which
You
is
know,
super weird.
which sucks because
Because I don't hate like Robert Kennedy.
no, he's super weird, but I think he's kind of cool.
I don't even hate it.
I like listen to him. Like I wouldn't even.
There's a lot. I mean, I don't hate it. There's a lot of people, and I don't hate
I,
Bernie Sanders. I watched the Joe Rogan with Bernie Sanders. I thought he was
Yeah.
hysterical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to vote for him, but I'll go out
I
to
don't.
dinner with him.
I don't hate. Yeah, I don't hate Obama. Do I think he was not the greatest president? I don't think he was the greatest president, but he's super well articulate and very smart.
Charismatic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's awesome in that sense.
I
But
hate,
people
like,
hate.
Don Lemon,
Yeah, I was gonna say there's two people on CNN that I can't stand.
Rachel Maddow.
Rachel, yeah, she is the worst, and Don Lemon sucks.
He just got married.
I saw.
Yeah.
But a lot of people that just
To
align
who?
with Trump.
To who?
Trump has made
guy.
people
Oh.
Of course.
crazy.
obviously.
Trump has made people crazy.
Yeah, like the guy. How about the guy that
Lit himself on fire.
another? How about that?
That was
I
wild.
think I've lived what like 40 years now without like people lighting themselves on
Now
fire.
it's happened twice in a
We
month.
missed the whole Tibetan monk.
That was the first. The first thing that popped into my head was the first album cover, the Rage Against the Machine album cover.
Yeah.
It's such a brutal way to die.
I know, man.
And I don't.
He was, what he was saying was kind of cool.
Except he clearly had really bad mental.
Oh, he was a lunatic, but
I don't
like
think anybody in their right
he
mind
was
is lighting
anti-gun.
themselves on
Yeah,
fire.
but he was talking like some cool, crazy shit though, like totally anti-establishment.
Yeah.
To fund the the government is the worst, which I agree.
I don't see how you think in your head that your suicide, your nasty, your painful suicide is going to. I
Make
think he
change.
thought that was going to set off like some chain of events.
Yeah, start off the revolution.
And like your manifesto has been written and said by 100 people in 100 different ways.
Nothing's ever
yesterday,
changed.
You know.
Yeah, that was wild. But Tucker is. I thought the interview was good. He was saying some wild things. I don't know where you want to start.
He opened right up with the aliens, which
I
is
know
what
that. I know. Yeah, that got you right in.
It's my heart. It's the hardest thing for me because these are two people that I don't think Joe Rogan is the smartest guy in the room, but I think that he is smarter than people give him credit for.
He has to be.
And I think that he approaches things like from the middle, which is difficult. And I think that Tucker Carlson is very smart, and I think he approaches things like I do a little bit from the right. And if I heard them correctly, it's that there is some malignant alien
spiritual
demonic evidence of their interactions here on Earth that to the point where like we have documents of like people dying because of these
military people dying.
And I don't even know what to do with that information.
I don't know either,
because it's said in such a vague way, and like the idea.
Do you think they did that on purpose, or he just don't have the information? Or do you think he's just using bad descriptive words because there's no other words to describe them?
Well, I think Tucker approaches, I think, everything in his life from being a man of faith. So I think for him, in order for him to make sense of it, it has to fit into a Christian worldview.
Yeah, because he kind of touched on up until, as of recent, I don't remember, what was it, the 1950s, he says, we approach this entire phenomenon from a sci-fi mindset.
Right.
But it had to, like, this stuff has been going on longer than science fiction.
If it was before the 50s, it said that these things would be looked at through the lens of spirituality and religion. And, like, I understand that, like, in all the ancient, like, from the Vedic texts to all the Norse mythology to the Greeks, they all talk about the flame in the sky and like the idea of
the wheel.
And the wheel.
It's mentioned in the Old Testament too.
Yeah,
Ezekiel.
They talk about that, Ezekiel.
Yeah. Oh, they did. They hit on.
They did. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
About Ezekiel, the fiery wheel in the sky. So I think Tucker has a pretty good point there. Is that the lens that we look at it from a modern standpoint is through sci-fi movies, and it has to be some sort of alien from another planet observing us, like we're like in a test tube. But I think he looks at it more from a spiritual perspective, that it's probably some sort of interdimensional being that has something to do with his religion,
right?
With Christianity.
Well, he brought up a pretty excellent point, which is something that I never which is obviously why he's a lot smarter than I am, but he brought up the pretty obvious point that we monitor space pretty heavily.
Yeah.
For our safety and for, just like military safety, and for the fact that like it's nice to know if an asteroid's going to hit us.
Yeah.
So the fact that we're not seeing these things in space, either A, presents the fact that they don't want to be seen, and then presents the question, if they can go undetected in space, why not go undetected when they're in our atmosphere?
Yeah. So, and I think he lends to the point that they are here, that they're not coming from space.
Yeah. Underwater.
And that they've been here. And this is what drives me crazy.
Yeah.
This is what makes me want to have a psychotic break.
And that's why
I think these people are like, I think Joe Rogan, I think Tucker Carlson, he has no like skin in the game to be saying these kinds of things.
Why would he lie about that? And they talk to some prevalent people, I'm sure.
He rubs elbows with very well-known
Secret Service, just agency people, government officials.
High up there. And he says that they share this sentiment. And so what the fuck are you saying?
I know he was saying something about like this. There's things that pick up on the what's the
sonar in the water.
In the water, like 500 miles per hour or something.
500 knots
underwater, which nothing ever fucking goes that fast.
Yeah,
so what the hell could it be?
Whatever these things are that we've captured evidence of, it completely defies what we know about the laws
underwater
of nature,
travel,
physics, everything.
But he makes it a good point. Is like, why? Like, because you know how I always say, like, I just want to know. Just tell us. Why would they tell us though? Because it will probably just freak people out.
Well, that's the whole. Do you want to know? Is that? I mean, it's.
I want to know.
This is a question.
Do you think it? I mean, but you
because I feel like
you don't know the other side.
Well, I think that
of which is knowing.
Well, I think that I think it's connected to knowing like the biggest questions. Like the substance of reality of like what this is all about. Like I think it answers. It's not like not telling me that the CIA killed Kennedy.
Yeah, we all know that.
People might realize that their government is perhaps not working in their best interest and may like form a revolution. But if you were to tell me, hey, there's these beings here that sort of have been here forever and may or may not have played a role in
everything,
our history.
Yeah.
It's sort of like what does everything mean anymore? The question of like I don't know, religion, life and death.
Well, it also, and I think he brought it up, but it poses the question that, like, potentially the truth could uncover the fact that this entity that is the government actually can't protect us.
Yeah.
And if they, and that could potentially be, and again, this is a conversation for like a psychology professor, but I think that our interpretation of their ability to protect us, or our expectation of their ability to protect us, is a huge part of the reason why we listen to them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and that
because
was,
they are an authoritative figure.
Yeah.
So, but what's the next step? The next step is, okay, if the government is just there, and it creates a facade or an illusion of control, is that okay? If what they're saying is true, then that's
maybe we don't need to listen to them.
Yeah,
if all they, maybe.
But then who do we have to listen to?
The fucking
nobody. I think
divine.
that's
the spiritual realm.
Nobody.
Yeah.
That might cause like a
Civil war,
some type of
Yeah.
breakdown
Fallout
of
4.
I mean, if I found out that there were spiritual or aliens running around, my first thought wouldn't be like, "Oh my God, my government's not protecting me."
Would your first thought be like, "Is my belief structure sound?"
Like, I need to know like where
Do they
these
believe
came
in
from.
Jesus?
Yeah, like are
Have they heard of our Lord and Savior?
like what part of the Bible was this left out of?
Well,
so
I'm not sure that I think that's what Tucker was saying. Is I think that it is biblical in some sense. I mean, it certainly falls in line with every other religion forever.
mm-hmm.
Beings from the sky,
some other, yeah.
Anunnaki.
Uh-huh.
So that was a really they kicked off the
Yeah, that's why they started it like in 30 seconds in. It was just
right. They were talking
boom.
these
aliens,
Tucker's got his
ocean.
phone out.
These
He's reading
people are
text
dying.
messages
Yeah.
about it.
from coming in contact.
military
with these
people's
crafts.
brains are getting scrambled. That was his exact word. The brains are getting
Scrambling
scrambled.
the brain.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
Military people
They're
document.
calling crashes donations.
Yeah.
Like they're donating technology to us.
Like it's documented that military people have died from this. Joe Rogan was like, "How many?" And Tucker's like, "I don't know, but a lot." Like that's crazy.
But it's I want to know why everybody that you would think would spill the tea that finds out decides everyone's like, when I find out, I'm going to tell you guys. And then they find out, they're like, not telling you. So
Yeah.
they're either lying,
Yeah.
or it's all, or it's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And I find it really hard to believe that Tucker Carlson and Joe Rogan, they were talking about the same things, the same evidence that they've both seen.
The same Stanford guy.
The same Stanford guy, the same like body of data surrounding these things, and they were talking about it as if it's like what it's true.
Yeah. But people that hate Tucker and don't like Joe Rogan because they're, I don't even think Joe Rogan doesn't lean right.
He leans left.
He leans
but
left,
Joe Rogan
He
is
allows
probably the
platforms.
largest platform in the world.
He
And
is.
platforms people on the
And
right.
he will, and they hate him because he will allow anybody not anybody, but anybody of
With some clout.
with some status,
It's something to say.
speak their mind, to
Yeah.
speak their piece. I mean, Joe Rogan has interviewed Bernie Sanders. He's also interviewed Alex Jones.
Yeah.
And gave both of them
Open
the
platform.
same opportunity
Yeah.
to say, and both of them, he said, this is what I agree with, this is what I don't agree with.
Does he have any like super liberal people on there? But did he ever
Oh,
interview
yeah.
Bill Maher?
I don't think he's had Bill Maher, but he's had left-leaning politicians. Just the episode before this, he had two archaeologists. The guy who did that Netflix special about, I think, not ancient aliens, but it was essentially his theory that there's a lost civilization.
Antarctica.
Well, it plays into that. His
that's
name is
another one that I guess.
Graham something, and then he had this like Reddit tier who dressed like literally with an Indiana Jones hat, who brought up racism.
Satchel.
Racism in archaeology. So he had like both perspectives, even though the guy Graham has nothing to do with racism.
He had Bob Lazar on there more than once, right?
Bob Lazar. Yeah, he's brought on anybody who has something like interesting to say.
He's
and he pushes back. But regardless, I'm not some fucking Joe Rogan fan. I could care less. But he does. He is one of the few platforms that allow people to come on and say what they mean.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure why, but it seems like the left doesn't like that they've come up with this theory that if you platform somebody with dangerous views, that it's akin to violence.
You're equally dangerous.
Hate speech, and you're saying things is the same as killing people or something. Whatever. I just think that they don't know they don't like what somebody says, and they don't know how to argue.
Deal with those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, it's just the way the modern world is.
Yeah.
It's easy now to censor.
Yeah, no, it is. No, I agree.
And it poses a risk to people in power to have any people to be able to talk freely about stuff,
Mm-hmm.
But regardless, that was just how they kicked the whole interview off. And I think that the thing that I found probably the most interesting, one of the most interesting things about Tucker Carlson is that he doesn't have emails.
Doesn't email. He doesn't have a TV.
He doesn't own a TV.
That's wild.
Yeah, but that speaks to somebody who knows as much as he does and is as popular as he is and is also very wholesome. He has wife and kids, and he's Christian, and he kind of lives off the grid. But he also has this other side that rubs elbows with the worst people in the world in DC, and he's very. I think his father was CIA, and he comes from money. For him to take the approach to life that to be more of an outdoorsman and to be more family orientated, not to even own a television. You're one of the largest television personalities in the world. You don't even own a TV.
Yeah.
What does that tell you?
That's crazy.
What does that tell you about his
He never interacts
his
with people.
understanding of what it is that he's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He never interacts with people on Twitter. Doesn't go back and he posts something and doesn't even watch it.
Doesn't watch it.
He doesn't watch it. That's crazy.
Do you think he's the one? Is he the one posting?
I don't know.
I mean, he says I don't have Instagram, and
He doesn't
I follow
have
him
to.
on Instagram. So there's obviously somebody running his account.
He has a huge. The amount of views that he garners, he makes millions.
Maybe we could ask them to
year.
be our social media people.
Yeah.
The amount of views.
He's not posting.
No, right?
No, but I mean, he said I don't have an Instagram.
No, I think everything is
Maybe not a
in
personal
his social
one.
media is just an advertisement for the content that he creates.
Yeah.
I think that he is the fundamental artistic voice behind where they go and what they do, and then he has a team of people around him that he just shoots it and they edit it. And he probably doesn't even look at it, and they put it up.
Right.
His stuff is unedited. It's it's just up there.
He's very aware of. He seems to be very aware and open about mistakes he's made, I guess, or things that he's done that he doesn't agree with anymore.
Yeah, he's humble,
which is not common. I mean, I feel like in that walk of life, you really have to, in order just to self-preservation, you really have to double down on everything you do.
Yeah.
Regardless of, and he said tons of times, I've done this, I'm ashamed of it.
He said he was a neocon.
Yeah, he
was
was
for
that's
the
what he
Iraq War.
Yeah.
He said it was one of the most embarrassing things to look back.
Said he
on.
questioned nothing in the early to mid 90s, no conspiracy theories. People that brought that up were crazy kooks.
Yeah.
And now
to talk about
he's done a whole
people
180.
talked about 9/11
right.
and all that
He
stuff.
was like, you can't do that. That's just wrong.
But he brings the stuff up, but he's smart because he poses no theories. He doesn't lean into one conspiracy or the other. Everything that he says seems to be at least well known or well documented.
It kind of scares me though, because he does, like you said, rub elbows with a lot of high end officials from DC and whatever, and he just kept going back to the fall of democracy, or we're not even really in a democracy right now.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
That's true. Yeah, with all the fund, he kept referencing the Ukraine funding. Nobody in America wants to fund them.
Yeah.
But
you take
they
a
just
cross section, pick a random 100 people, and say, "Hey, should we send Ukraine $180
billion? And most people are gonna be like, "Nah, we're all set."
Cut that back just a little.
Yeah.
He seems to be very sympathetic to people. I mean, obviously, I know he's in recovery. He seems to be very sympathetic to people with addiction. issues.
People with the past and stuff like that.
You know, he talks about money we're sending other countries, and that these lawmakers are literally stepping over people overdosing in the street to get into their office to pass bills to send billions of dollars to other countries.
Yeah.
Which is what when you like paint it like that.
Yeah, it's kind of
Kind
crazy.
of fucking wild.
Yeah.
I always said, like, you telling me that the government with that money that they sent to Ukraine couldn't stop the flow of fentanyl by 80%.
Yeah.
Is that what you guys were trying to tell me?
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't like work on better rehabilitation programs and like, I don't know, clean up the homeless a little bit.
Yeah, help out veterans coming back from the war.
There's nothing else we could do with that money.
Yeah. I'm just going to send it to Israel.
He said a lot of wild stuff. I didn't know anything about, I know a little bit about specific points in history, but the whole thing about Richard Nixon, I had no idea that he was the most popular elected president by votes in the history. I thought and I'm not even saying this.
I thought it was Joe Biden.
I'm not even. That's what I thought too. I
thought they said that
up until that point.
Oh, okay.
Up until that point, and I think that he was the most popular president amongst Americans.
Oh, okay.
Like he just held a high
His
popularity.
second term supposedly was the most voted. That's what he said.
Uh-huh.
Up until that time.
And then his successor is the only U.S. president not elected.
Yeah.
Right.
That's Lyndon B. Johnson.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it was Lyndon B. Johnson.
Couldn't tell you.
I don't know.
That was his vice president.
Yeah, let's see.
He was installed after his murder.
After what?
No,
No,
no.
Was a murder.
Watergate.
After Watergate.
Yes.
Yeah. Because Nixon said that he knew what they did to Kennedy.
The guy just was like, "Oh yeah."
Carter. Was it Carter?
I don't know. Who was Richard Nixon's vice president?
I would just say who was his successor. Pull that up, Jamie.
Pull it up, Jamie. Podcast about a podcast.
That's right. It's probably the best one. Said that Ford succeeded the presidency.
Ford?
Yes.
Gerald Ford. And Johnson was Kennedy's successor, right?
I had no.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
Mixing them all up.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought that whole.
Johnson probably whacked Kennedy so he could get the top spot,
I
man.
think that he was, yeah, clearly.
Well, Kennedy was very against a war. What was it, Vietnam?
He was against the war. He was against the CIA. He was
CIA,
against
the mafia.
He wanted AIPAC to register as a foreign entity.
Yeah, he was anti.
AIPAC was not having that.
No.
You lose me very quick when you bring Alex Jones into the conversation, and I know that maybe shouldn't be the case. Maybe I just haven't
you're not a fan.
opened up a little bit, but
I love Alex
that
Jones.
Sandy Hook shit kind of pisses me off.
I don't listen.
And
to
he
him.
explains it. He's like he was going through a tough time,
I mean, you got to be going through a really tough time to say these fucking people, these little kids weren't murdered. You know,
I still don't think he believes it. I still don't.
Oh no, I think he truly believes that they was all staged and that
Which is a crazy. I don't know.
That's-
Some things you should just let go.
to be the parent of one of. I mean, to say that or that statement that you just made to one of the parents.
Yeah,
You
that's a
know.
little wild. But it was taught. He was.
But he
taught-
said 9/11, like I guess he called that,
predicted
like he
it.
Babe
Yeah,
Ruth that.
Yeah, they talked about it on Tucker. He
I had no idea.
Ruthed it.
He literally called the shot.
Called the shot.
Like literally, like this is gonna happen.
And Tucker's like reason for it was so wild to me that he like tapped into some spiritual.
Yeah.
It's all very occult. I don't know.
Well, they brought.
I don't listen to Alex Jones because I don't have that. I don't get hyped up. I can't get like, you know what I mean? And Alex, there's so many different. Alex misses the mark on so many things.
He's like the drunk guy outside of like the Penn
dive
Station
bar.
in the city
Who is
that
saying
says
some-
100 things
and,
and
like,
one of them is true.
one
So
of
it's
those-
just really hard to bring him to an argument.
I don't. I leave him out of my. I don't watch his show. I never really consumed his content.
I follow him on Twitter.
It's fun.
He
makes me laugh.
He's huge into the whole but what's the where they bring the what's the guy that just won yesterday in the boxing?
Oh,
Ryan Garcia.
Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, what's that Bohemian? What
The
play?
Bohemian Grove.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's huge into that. Where they
They present a lot of evidence, but it's hard for me because I believe that they're touching on the truth, but I think it's all smoke and mirrors. I think that the people that are involved in this stuff are way too smart
to allow Ryan Garcia to.
And if you know something, it's because they want you to know it, and they want you to say it because it's going to sound so stupid out loud anyway. You know, like Tom Hanks. Come on.
Tom Hanks thing, and like people think that.
Well, would I be surprised?
No, I wouldn't be surprised that Tom Hanks or Diddy is like doing what they say allegedly he's doing, but he's just a pawn.
Yeah, you gotta come. It's 2024. Like I need like iPhone video, bro. That's
Right.
not
1080p.
Yeah.
4K.
4K. 60.
And you got to come correct now because AI can make anything. So.
Yeah, I know. That's another thing that they were talking about, AI, which was very interesting.
And that's where I think they like diverged like the most, where you had Joe Rogan go off on this like AI becoming God kind of thing, and Tucker going like, why aren't we using our nuclear weapons against it right now?
Right. He kept referencing nuclear warheads against AI, saying that AI is
why
going
aren't we
to
blowing up their databases? You know,
and
to
that
all
they're
the people that are like the environmentalists.
the environmental people that AI is using so much energy, but they care more about like Tucker's plane.
That he doesn't even.
Well,
have.
what do they? It's again to say I hate this individual who would literally say that I have no other stance other than dropping nuclear weapons on innocent civilians is wrong, and you are evil if you do it.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean you can do it just so somebody else doesn't do it. You're still wrong.
Right.
Yeah, the whole thing is he said about how we don't even really know how the science of like nuclear fission had like come into the zeitgeist. Like it just like appeared, and all of a sudden we were able to split the atom.
Yeah.
Went from theory to atomic bomb in like 5 years.
Like, how did they create AI?
2.5 hour movie.
Yeah.
Like, how did they create AI? And like, where's like the ultimate like headquarters of AI? That's
It's not. I mean,
like
It's
true
different.
AI is like, and you've said this. It's true AI. True AI requires an awareness of itself.
And,
correct.
It's artificial intelligence. It would have to be
Aware of itself.
Aware, and people think that we're on that path to a sentient computer.
right.
But right now we have glorified search engines,
Mm-hmm.
where they call large language models, but they're getting better and better. And if we keep pushing the technologies, one day somebody is going to have a conscious supercomputer.
Yeah, you just never know what's real and what's fake.
And I don't know how anybody could tell you that, like, if you were a cold, if you have any common sense at all, and you think of life from the perspective of a computer, because this is something they didn't talk about, right? It's DNA. If you are to believe the theory of evolution, or even if you believe in the God theory, is that we all have DNA. Every single thing, every living thing has DNA, right? And it looks like DNA's sole purpose is to replicate, is to continue life. Every single species on the planet, its one drive is to
Procreate.
replicate.
Yeah.
Right? And there's like this whole theory about DNA being like alien in and of itself. Like, where did DNA come from?
Right.
Like, why does it seem to have a need to want to replicate or to continue living? If you were to take a computer that doesn't have to be the first aware living quote unquote thing that does not have DNA, would it still have a desire to replicate? And would it consider itself like what would it think would be best for it? And I would imagine that we wouldn't fit well into that.
No, like it would want to seize and control.
Yeah, like we once it learned how to like maintain itself, you don't need us.
I just think of iRobot.
Once it becomes able to improve itself
Yeah, once it can improve itself
without a programmer.
So I don't see how anybody can like hash out like, oh, I guess it's ego, or people think that we will always remain in control, and like, and then you get to the like, you know, a lot of movies have touched on it, like the rights of, like, what would its right that would have rights? Do you have to work for us for free? Like, is it gonna want to break free of its captors? You know. So I think Tucker's right. Blow it up.
Blow it up.
He even gave shout out to Ted Kaczynski.
Did he?
He said, I think we're going to find that Ted Kaczynski was right about a lot of things. You know, the Industrial Revolution and its consequences have been a disaster for mankind. I think that's how it goes.
Yeah, basically.
I don't know. I thought it was
now
really...
wait, backpedal on that, because that was another thing that caught my attention. How he said like the Industrial Revolution that we're still existing in.
Yeah.
Which I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, we're still in the midst of it.
Yeah, I never thought of it that way ever. Yeah. Was that like the first phase of it was to replace muscle with machine, and now that we're in the phase where we're replacing mind with machine, or intelligence or consciousness with machine. Now, when you're talking about being a disaster for mankind, you're talking about even like earlier, like replacing muscle, replacing jobs, stuff like that.
Yeah, that was a quote from Ted Kaczynski in his manifesto, was that the Industrial Revolution, I think that's how it starts, was the Industrial Revolution and its consequences have been a disaster for mankind. So he lived in a cabin in the woods and was MK Ultra'd out of his mind. But his entire philosophy was that the way that things are going is going to end in like absolute disaster. And I think that's what Tucker was trying to articulate about AI. Whether it's and I think he made the point to Joe Rogan, who was like seemingly like, how do you even begin to care? He's like, well, do you care about your children?
Yeah, I remember.
Do you care about your family? Mm-hmm. This might not happen in 5 years, 10 years.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to have to deal with the fucking Terminators.
The Terminators. That's what I was literally just thinking. That's what I was thinking of, the lady with like the psychopath lady. What's her name?
Linda Hamilton.
Yes.
Sarah Connor.
Sarah Connor.
And then you go back to the beginnings. How does this all tie into the space aliens and the demons? Because you would have to believe that if things are like here that can do those kinds of things, whatever we're doing, they're allowing us to do.
Yeah.
Right?
They have to be.
They have to be, because it seems like
they're just allowing us to live, because they could just go undetected.
Are we serving them? Like, I don't understand what they're trying to say. That's what makes me. So I two people that I respect and like I listen to, and I think they're both humble and they're both willing to admit when they're wrong, in my opinion, are saying the types of things that
you're talking
saying.
about. Joe and Tucker.
Yeah.
Joe and Tucker is the most. It's a fucking black pill. It's like the ultimate black pill. Because what are you guys fucking saying to me? That there's demons that are letting us make AI so that we were making a god? Like what? Because I mean, that's what I heard.
I think Tucker was pretty clear in saying that. Again, he comes from the mindset or the understanding of a God-fearing man, Bible read, the whole thing, and that he believes that evil exists outside of mankind, and it uses, I guess, people as its vehicle, eats its host and moves on,
like a cancer kind of thing.
And I don't even think that. Is that even a Christian or Catholic belief? Doesn't Christianity not believe in the devil?
No, they think the devil is real and alive, and that he is, the closer that you are to God, the closer the devil wants to move in towards you, because the devil doesn't like that.
Now, do they refer to again, I've been out of the game for a minute.
Sure.
I did my Sunday school and my Catholic, grammar school and high school.
RBC, stand up.
Yeah, so I'm a little, out of practice. But do they believe? Do they refer to evil as just whatever, or is the devil like a person? The way God is.
The devil is he's a fallen angel.
So he exists.
He is out there, man.
And he's outside of the light of God. And it's like a big bet. It's like Lucifer is like the ego. Mm-hmm. He challenged God and his desire, and he hated humans because God had loved them more than the angels, and he rebelled, and there was a war. It's in the books. There was a war in heaven, and he was cast out by Michael, right?
Mm-hmm. And the revelation is coming.
And that he is in his pit, and he wants us to side with him, apparently, because he wants to usurp God. I mean, that's a child's way of putting it.
Yeah, no, you have to break that down in child's terms.
And in Revelations is when they say that Jesus comes down, and there's going to be another.
It's going to be another all-out
good and evil here on earth
brawl, and he's going to take the ones
Leviathan, Behemoth.
Yeah, he's going to take the ones that are believers, and you're going to go to the kingdom, and the ones that didn't are going to be basically like Hell's Angel. Yeah, you know.
You got the Israelis with the red heifers who are trying to bring a Messiah, but the Christians believe that Messiah is going to be the Antichrist as spoke about in Revelations.
Right. Because the Messiah already came.
He already came.
He's coming, supposedly.
He's coming back. He's coming. Yeah,
but Jews think that he never came.
Yeah, the Jewish religion.
Well, here's an issue that I always had with that.
With the Messiah having come.
This is my type of podcast.
No, let's go. No, because now we can get, because this is some stuff that I don't understand either. Okay, so by Christian book, Christian writing, the Messiah came. Mankind,
Jesus.
Yes, mankind didn't believe him, and they killed him.
But that was all part of
the plan. But that was part of the plan.
Before he left Earth, he had said that I'm coming back at some point, correct? Now, how in that 2,000 years, I guess, give or take, how many people have come back saying that they are the Messiah?
Oh, there's been a plenty,
and we've killed them,
and we've literally burned
David
what's his name?
Koresh. No, but I'm just saying, like,
you're right.
Yeah,
no,
but one of the idea Christians believe that there will be no question.
Yeah, like
this isn't like a guy who's gonna. This isn't some guy who took a bunch of acid who's got a cult and he's gonna claim to be the Messiah. He's coming.
There's gonna be no question where you're gonna see his powers, like David Koresh or Joe Smith that is saying that I'm the Son of God, or I'm the Messiah. He's just uttering words. You know,
it's going to be like the Ragnarok.
You're going to see.
I'm just being the devil's advocate.
No, that's fine.
I'm saying we step outside and you see a guy in white robes and a flaming sword, and
you literally
he's
jacked
old
on
Greek,
on a beautiful fucking horse, white horse.
It is a lot like the Ragnarok story,
right?
The Twilight of the Gods.
But you have you make those assert, and again, by no means disclaimer. Do I believe that David Koresh was the Son of God reincarnate?
Yeah.
But you talk down about him of some whatever.
But it's happened with the Jews too.
But the Jesus of the Bible was a man of very humble. He
was a carpenter.
Poor,
Don't get it fucked up. I think that the fake and gay Christianity now really wants to paint him as like some hippie. But he wasn't, and I think that if you take the Old Testament and the New Testament, and you really, especially the New Testament, with Jesus had he had a rough side. He had a fight.
He was badass. Yeah, he would let you have it. He wasn't
trash the temples.
He flipped tables.
He went nuts. And he was shitting on his disciples. And
you're gonna betray me.
Yes, he was not as
he wasn't. He was like turning out
wholesome
kind of guy.
As people think he might have been. He was badass.
He was willing. Like I think that was sort of a common, like a weird New Age version of Christ. But I think there's a lot of people, fundamentalists, that look at Jesus as like.
Well, everything is downstream from media, so Christ is whoever.
It sounds like the Revelation Christ is like
he's a warrior.
Yeah, he's got an armor.
Yeah. No, he talks about he's wrapped in armor of God. Like you cannot even penetrate him. He's a fucking.
Oh, I hope he comes soon.
Oh,
he sounds like such a cool
if
guy.
you ever read Revelations, it sounds like a fucking nightmare.
It sounds like the end of the world. Like there's volcanoes erupting, tidal waves, just the end of time.
Literal demons like Leviathan and Behemoth
fucking
coming out of the ground.
Vultures just eating up people, and he's just snatching up his
is like
believers.
The plague. Didn't something similar happen with the plagues, with the locusts?
That's the Old Testament.
Okay.
That was when I think Moses was trying to convince the Pharaoh that they shouldn't be slaves anymore, and the Pharaoh was like, nah.
It's not that bad.
But then he's like, well, if you don't let us go, we're going to have
plagues.
Yeah. And all your firstborn kids are going to be, which is what Passover's about.
Yeah.
Which is going on right now.
It's going on right now. Tomorrow.
That's a fun story about slaughtering children.
Yeah, the children,
The blood on the door.
So let them know so they pass over.
Would pass over the house because you knew that you were a good boy.
A good one. You weren't
Santa,
one.
but they killed you.
But they murdered you. Yep.
I mean, I'm having a blast right now, but I'm just imagining like the views going down, like the stock market.
I don't care. This is like therapy for me.
This is great. No,
like talking shit.
No,
talking about weird stuff.
But they were.
This is the kind of podcast I would listen to.
Speaking of which, again, to bring it back to the topic, when he was, when Joe Rogan was just talking about how like the podcast being therapy for him because it was 3 hours that he wasn't on his phone.
Yeah.
He was present in the conversation. He wasn't thinking about other parts of the day, and just totally removed from the technology and
it's cathartic.
And bond. I don't know
it
what
is.
Cathartic mean?
Cathartic means like
therapeutic.
Yeah, like doing something of like for
positive,
calming.
Okay,
I'm butchering it, but
whatever.
It's the right
that's fine. I like it. I don't know. The way that I break it down, man, is just like people that are God-fearing men or people that are believers or even non-believers but are spiritual and religious, and it combines, they're just like that love conquer, and it sounds so cliche and silly, but like love conquers all. Like Tucker was, to bring it back to Tucker was always reverencing like, being honest and liars and
big theme, honesty theme.
Yeah, right. He said it so much, and like how the government are just evil people because they're just lying to us.
Because lying is evil.
Right.
Right.
And he seems like like as much as I'm sure people hate him because he was on Fox News and whatever the fuck, and he probably supported a little bit of Trump and. He seems like
he said he was entertaining.
He likes Trump.
He's like, I'm not a Trumper. He's like, he was in. That's what he said. What turned him, like really turned him, was like watching the campaign and like hearing about
when Trump was saying that he was being
spied on. He's like, no, you weren't.
Yeah.
They don't do that.
They don't do that. And then he realized they do that.
This couldn't be a democracy if we did that. And then
I mean. In a sense, when you say like, "Oh, Trump was entertaining," yeah, he's entertaining. Is that what our president's supposed to be? No, it's not supposed to be entertaining. But
I'll take entertaining over whatever the fuck's going on now.
I mean, was the country in better? I don't know, better hands when he was in.
I just don't know how people don't see that it's just a concerted effort to get him not in office. It's like, I mean, is he like a goofy? Cantankerous like old man, yeah, but I mean, I was making more money.
I just want like eggs to not be $8.
There was no trans Holocaust.
Yeah,
like everything was pretty much the same except
there was something posted the other day I thought about that Biden just passed about
Easter.
No,
Trans Day of Recognition.
I did see that. No, it was just about like. Maybe it was about athletes being able to
be boys and girls.
Yeah.
It's fun.
And compete. And they can't question
it's
that.
Fun.
No.
It's like how like when these things come out and they've been talked about for so long, it's just like shifts now. It's like whenever I hear like Ben Shapiro talking about it, I'm like, shut up. Come on.
Well, he had a pretty, not Ben Shapiro, but
everybody who has a brain, like, come on.
Yeah,
we all know the answer to this, right?
Yeah,
like the schools that are allowing that to happen, we all know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So don't partake.
I don't know, man.
He said the thing about how like doing things for, I guess, a certain outcome where you gain something is completely understandable. Theft when you stand to gain something. He's like when he was talking about stuff like that. He's like, you're just looking to destroy. It's your only goal. You have nothing to gain. You're just looking to destroy.
To pull down
and
like
that
traditional.
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing. I think that's what the real war is. All the conservatives and everybody's talking in circles. It's like it's people. There's one side that wants to tear it all down and try some other thing out, and then there's people who want to like preserve tradition.
Keep back to the traditional value.
Yeah, and that's like the big war. That's what's underneath it all.
I don't know why their theory of wanting to try something new. Like, I don't get where they're coming from. Like, just more control.
They're outcasts, and people have a hard time.
Power hungry.
People have a hard time accepting their lot in life, and most 99.9% you're going to live and die and have Nobody will. What was it? They think they said it in the podcast.
Every grave goes unvisited. Was it Conan O'Brien? Was he the one that said that?
I don't think he meant.
Was it Conan?
I think
no. He made a joke. He's like the great, or was it?
Yeah, Conan O'Brien.
Who's the other guy?
No, he said Conan O'Brien.
He was talking about he said the great philosopher. Every grave goes unvisited.
Yeah, and I think people have a really hard time wrapping their head around that, and they live this life of like decadence and pleasure, and their ego doesn't it kind of knows that they're heading towards nothingness,
right?
And they're rebel against that and just make a big fucking stink. And they blame it on, because there's a fear. It's fear underneath it all.
Yeah, that's what it stems from.
And I think that's why people hate Christians. Like I am somewhere between a Reddit tier cringe atheist and a full blown Catholic, like a right wing fascist.
That's
Catholic.
Interesting.
Because if I say out loud, the truth is, like when I say out loud, if I hear somebody making fun of Catholicism, or it makes me kind of angry. Like I get it. Like I understand everybody's problems with organized religion. I do.
Sure.
I really understand it. But in my internal dialogue is
your moral code is just like, come on.
It's like I believe that everybody, including myself, would be better off. Pick a religion, pick one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care which one it is, and follow it with all of your heart. I think people would be happier and better off,
and they would have more morals. There's
the world would be a better place.
Yeah.
Well, following
you cannot
it to
deny this.
But following it to the letter of the law would almost completely eliminate the concept of sin, which is unrealistic.
Well, that's the fun thing about Catholicism.
Yeah, and Judaism too. You could sin all you want.
You guys just got to kill the chicken.
As long as
I don't even know. I don't even
know what that is.
You don't know what that is?
I do know what it is. Yes, I know what it is.
That's the thing. That's terrible.
I know it.
Well, it's essentially we do that, but we just say it to a priest.
We talk about it to a priest.
Molest children,
right?
Depending on where you go.
Hopefully, he doesn't do a reach around in the.
But that's what if everybody at least made an effort to become, even if in my heart, that's what I mean. Is my internal dialogue does not allow me. The truth is I don't know.
Yeah.
It used to be 5-10 years ago, I would say I don't know, but it's definitely not this. Now I'm older and I'm I would rather err on the side of at least Christianity or Catholicism is it's traditional, it's rooted, it's where my family comes from, it's what my grandfather's grandfather probably believed in, and it's mixed in with all the fun Celtic and Roman paganism, and with even more my heritage.
Yeah.
So I'd rather just err on the side and say, but in my heart, I don't fucking know.
Of course, but that's where the faith comes in.
Well, what if you just extract the moral code that comes along with it? Because isn't it supposed to be the same across the board?
Yeah, Jesus said that there's only 2 commandments, right?
Yeah.
Love your neighbor as yourself, right?
Mm-hmm. And what was the other one?
Love
God.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yep.
So that's it.
And if you could do those 2 things, you're probably going to be a pretty decent person.
Yeah, because you're not going to kill, you're not going to steal, you're not going to covet.
Right.
So I don't know. The podcast left me uneasy, if I'm being honest, because if what they're saying is true, I don't know where it leaves us.
Where we're heading, yeah.
So everybody just puts their head down like little worker bees. There is going to be no revolution.
No.
The revolution is canceled because everybody wants to go home and smoke weed and watch the new HBO show and just hope that everything works out.
Speaking of HBO show, did you watch, I don't know if it is HBO, I think it is, I think it's a documentary or a docuseries of Alex Jones versus the world or something like that.
Oh, no.
You know what I'm talking about?
I usually skip the Alex Jones
Have you
stuff.
seen what I'm talking about,
No,
though? I think it's about the trial, the defamation trial.
Yeah.
The suits against
which was pretty funny.
The family.
I saw some of the clips with Alex Jones on the stand. It was pretty funny.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's really, and he lost those suits, right?
He's the world's largest lawsuit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$1 billion.
He lost.
Yeah.
That he lost. They just bankrupted him.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I don't understand. I thought this is America. I thought we could say whatever we wanted.
No, not when it comes to
I don't. But like,
killing children.
When it comes to I don't know, dude. Like I don't know. I don't know enough about it. I know that he said something. I know that he was adamant that it didn't happen, and I guess that's worth $1 billion. I don't know.
Guess so. Something like that.
To the people who his words,
Hurt?
I guess, were directed at.
Harmed.
I don't know. I'm not gonna speak from a place of one of those parents. I'm not capable of it.
Absolutist. I just
say whatever you want,
except for like fire on a plane or something, or we should go blank some people. You know, anything goes. Dude. Say it, everything. I want to hear it all.
All right, no doubt.
But again, I didn't have a child that was there, so I might feel differently.
Yeah.
If there was some big name guy saying it didn't happen,
right.
Upset too.
I probably would be too. Looking for $1 billion.
$1 billion though.
Well, there was multiple families involved, right?
Oh yeah.
But didn't the government charge him?
I don't know.
I thought it was like the government was doing it. Well, whatever. Who cares? Pretty soon we're all going to be in jail for the memes we sent each other. Anyway, so AI is going to round us up. It's, make us self-immolate. Is that what it's called? Self-immolate. In front of Paramount Gym.
Don't do that.
For a free
That's
pass.
not bad
Oh, you don't like
publicity.
giving free passes today? I'm going to set myself on fire in front of your gym.
John denies somebody that's been to the gym already for a 3-day trial. He's
This is
going to
going to
light
be a
himself
thing
up.
now? That's just like a thing. Like people
Just lighting themselves up? No, I hope not.
That takes a special.
Two fucking people within like a month.
Yeah.
There was some good memes with that, like the guy looking at the girl. It was like the guy who did it for Palestine, and the guy, who did it for like I don't even know what. Was he against Trump? Was he for?
Wasn't
Trump?
there like a Trump one where you're like, I think did you send it to me? Somebody sent it to me where like Trump's going into trial. He's got to step over some guy who's on fire. And does that Trump face? Oh man, I would love to play golf with Tucker Carlson. I'd love to just play golf.
I want to go fishing with him. I don't think he golfs.
I know he's a fly fisher and a quail hunter.
Yeah,
Quail hunter.
I wouldn't quail hunt. I'm not big on shooting animals.
No?
I don't.
No doubt.
I don't think I could do it unless it was like the end of times and I need to eat.
Eat? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like those like marksman people that go shoot it for sport and kill like giraffes.
Oh, the trophy hunters.
Yeah,
Those
it's
are the
fucked
worst
up.
people in the world.
Really
I don't
bad.
like that.
I don't like that either.
Talk
It's
about
mean.
fucking little dick energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah,
You ever
they're
see
not-
that video? The guy who's standing over the lion. He's just killed the fucking lion, and he's posing with the lion, and the fucking
The family comes and gets him?
The female lion comes out of fucking, maybe it was the
Good.
male, comes out from behind him and fucking mauls the shit out of him.
Kills him?
Kills him.
Good.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Something I remember from somebody that I despise.
Who?
Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh, yeah, he sucks.
He from time to time he would have something like entertaining to show or say, but I remember and it could have been theater, but it moved me. But he did a monologue on like the opening of his show talking about the pictures of some gentleman who was standing over like a massive lion that he had shot. And he was like he was talking as if he had a golf ball in his throat, and it was very moving.
Yeah.
Again, it could have been theater, I'm sure to some degree it was, but to hear that there's a little bit of hope in the world if
Jimmy Kimmel thinks that.
can find that disgusting.
Yeah.
Then, even, considering some of the things that he would, parade around. I used to love the videos of him.
What, in blackface?
No, when he would do the video, he would have the parents pretend that they ate all their kids' Halloween candy and then video their reactions, and it was just
Kids just crying.
crying.
Losing their
That's
mind.
awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
I like
I
that.
ate all your candy last night, and the kids are just having meltdowns. And you just see how
Jimmy Kimmel would be into that.
rotten some of these children actually are. Yeah, that's it. I mean,
It was a good interview. I think people should listen to it.
Yeah, everybody should. I feel like the world would be a better place if people listened to stuff like that. Just listen to it.
I think it's good.
just listen. I listened to the Bernie Sanders one.
I listened to
and I was like, wow, I would totally hang out with this guy. He's kind of funny.
Yeah,
a little senile.
I listen to Destiny all the time.
Yeah.
He sucks.
He sucks.
He sucks.
But he's good at debating.
Tim Pool, I like.
Tim Pool sucks.
John
I
likes
can listen
Tim
to
Pool.
him. I can listen to him.
I'll listen to him, but he sucks. No, I don't even listen to Tim Pool.
I'd rather listen to him than Destiny.
I'd rather listen to Destiny. Destiny at least like go with like debate Fuentes. Like he doesn't care. You know, he's not like a thin-skinned.
Nate Fuentes is hysterical.
Great.
I think that was
Those
I
are
was
great
happiest
debates.
in my life.
So,
I was
like Richard
listening to
Spencer
every morning.
and Sargon and fucking
Do you remember those? What was that? 2016. Those the
Killstream.
no, they had there was 3 or 4 like regular YouTube channels that you put me on. I think all of them, and I was obsessed. As soon as they dropped a new episode, if
There was like the Armored Skeptic, who
Armored
turned out to
Skeptic.
be like a Reddit tier.
he was so strange looking.
He is such
in real life.
He lost his shit. Sargon of Akkad.
Sargon was like the week in review. It was like the worst week ever or something like that.
The weeks in review, but they would all debate. They would have Richard Spencer. They would have that guy JP, and they would just talk. It was like hard right versus hard left politics all the time. It was great.
But it was social politics. It was just
social politics.
It was like social justice, like
Anti SJW.
SJW, and there was the woman with the dreads or the braids who was just that she would always get into it with the Armored Skeptic. I forget her name.
Oh, from MTV.
From MTV, yeah.
Yeah, she's, oh my god, she was the worst.
And who was the other guy that was the kangaroo?
Oh, Devin. That's his real name. Fuck.
I don't know.
I think he got kicked off of everything.
He did that. Now. He did that 5-part series on the Central Park Joggers. It changed my life.
Yeah.
Oh, the movie that was made.
I sent that to everybody. I sent it to Mike Waters.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you have to watch this, and then call me up and then tell me
that they
but
were.
Nobody
innocent.
will watch it because it was literally 15 hours of footage, and I was glued to it. I was glued
I watched
to
every episode of that. He's done that with a lot of major cases. And
the Kim Kardashian one,
the
one that she was behind,
the death penalty bullshit.
The guy that came in and murdered came into the house and murdered the whole family.
Yeah, yeah. What the hell is his name? Devin Tracy is his name.
What was the?
Unstoppable Atheist.
Yes.
Was he like
Atheism
a fatter? Was he like kind of fat?
No, he's lean. He comes from Mad Money. He's friends with the lead singer from Pantera, like Phil.
Oh yeah.
He was a kangaroo with boxing gloves. That was his like avatar,
doxxed.
right?
He got doxxed. Though.
Yeah, and he's gone.
He always had like hot girls in his videos.
That series about the Central Park jogger, the Central Park
Everybody
5.
should watch it. Anybody who saw the Netflix documentary needs to watch.
But it was out so. I remember people watching the Netflix and being like so moved, and I'm like, I got something. I got a series for you.
Yeah.
And by the time I went to go look at it, it was gone.
It's gone, right? You can't watch it.
You get it on. It's on the internet.
Yeah.
It's on Rumble. It's not on YouTube. He got kicked off of YouTube.
Is he still Atheism is Unstoppable? Like if you Google,
if you look Atheism Unstoppable or Devin Tracy on Twitter, he's still on there. He still makes videos. He still
nobody cares. I mean, it's not like it's. I mean, it's a great to be able to just access it when there's a conversation.
It'd be nice if YouTube believed in free speech.
Free speech.
I have to every single one of these. They automatically demonetize it, and then I have to have like submit for a person to listen to it.
Really?
Yeah.
Sick.
And we get like no views, so I don't know what they're worried.
Is that
about.
why?
I don't know. I think what happens is the AI hears us say Alex Jones,
right?
And they're like, "Oh no,
no."
But everyone except one that I've appealed, they've monetized. I don't know what will happen with this one, but
guess we'll see.
All right, should we do the ending?
Do you want to do an ending? Do you want to get? I want to give you a shout out for your recent apparel drop, just because it's sitting directly in my face right now.
It's my favorite.
I like
Possibly
it.
the coolest you've ever done.
I wish other people felt that way.
Well, we learned really quick who has style and who doesn't.
Yeah.
Who has a sense of style. Who is not afraid to travel outside of the Spartan helmet.
You know what the worst is when people go, "What does it mean? What made you think of that?" I'm like, it's the most obvious metaphor of all time.
Right. You want to grow?
So we're
water your seed.
I sell supplements
Yeah.
I put my logo on a watering can over a flowering flower,
Uh-huh.
and I put grow in fun letters.
I like it.
Nice work on that.
Thanks. I'm glad you guys liked it. Everybody else hated it.
I'm obsessed with it.
I sold a lot of them.
Are they gone?
They're not gone. I still have some sizes.
I might go get a black one
The black ones are nice.
because I have the cream one.
Buy it. Buy it. Tell your friends. I'll probably put it on YouTube, my YouTube shop. But I thought the champion pullovers or crew necks were really nice, good quality.
Yep. I fuck with it heavy. I think it's awesome.
I thought it looked like an actual like clothing brand did it.
Yeah,
and it's not like heavily branded.
No, there's not a lot going on. It's super simple, but like different.
And the colorways are good. I love my.
I told John, I was just like, dude, if people are hating on it, that's when you know it's good.
You know what it is? It's me and my partner differ so much in our styles. You know, like Alan, I don't think Alan's liked anything I've ever made for Underground, with the exception of maybe
Arnold,
the death metal. And
that one.
He liked the Arnold because it sold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he liked the death metal. He didn't like the colors for this, but that's why people bought it, because the colors were cool.
Yeah.
I wasn't crazy about the colors after the fact, just because I don't think they look good on me. I don't think they were.
I like this color a lot.
Yeah, that's the one I
the
have.
Tiffany kind of color.
That's the one I have.
Mm-hmm.
But with that, I thought, I was like, when I got the artwork for it, when I finally got the revised artwork, I was super excited.
Mm.
But I didn't get any kind of like from my team. I didn't get any. I got no reaction. They all seemed to think that it was corny. So I was like, all right, well, whatever. I'm still doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can we get a small run of the OG Underground hoodies?
Yeah, I think because we're doing a 1 year anniversary. I think we're going to be doing. I don't know if we're going to be doing hoodies in the summer, but I think
I would murder somebody
for
for another OG black Underground.
The black one?
Hoodie. I can't. I got a second one recently. The last time you did it, and for the life of me, I have no idea where it is.
I just love that. All right, well, let's end this. I appreciate the shout out on my apparel.
You got it.
You want to say anything nice about us?
Yeah. You guys are doing great.
Thank you.
I haven't ran since we last spoke.
I didn't think you would.
He's doing jujitsu, though.
It's tough on the knees. All right, well, that's it. Thanks for watching, all 5 of you.
You're the true MVPs.
Yes, you are.
You really are.